What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another J-List YouTube video. My name is Jonathan, and I want to make this quick intro before we actually get on with the video, just to take a moment and tell you guys how much I appreciate all of you guys for checking in and still, you know, killing the channel, and all the support and all the likes and all the views and the comments, you know, with everything that's been going on. I'll have a video coming up soon on what happened with my arm and the whole explanation and everything. As you guys may have seen already, this car fell on my arm, on this arm, the right arm, and it basically sliced my arm open. But we're good now, we're back to making content. And yeah, that's the first thing I wanted to say. Second thing I want to get done is, so I want to get it over with, is I'm sorry for some of the video that you guys are about to watch. The camera kept overheating, and for some of you guys it might be hard to believe, because in some of your states it's already snowing. You guys are getting like 5, 6, 7 inches of snow. Well, here in Texas it is still mid to high 90s. So my camera kept overheating, and then a lot of the video that I thought I was recording, I wasn't recording. So I do apologize for that, but I'm gonna try my best to salvage the situation and get you guys the best footage possible. So with all that said, let's get straight into this. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another J-List YouTube video. My name is Jonathan, and in today's video, as I previously mentioned in a YouTube short, I'm going to be replacing my two front brake rotors on my car, because my driver's side rotor is warped. So as you guys can see right here, I have my impact gun, I have my rotors, my jack, and my tripod all ready to go. So with all that said, let's get straight into this. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to pull the parking brake, the handbrake, just like so the car isn't rocking back and forth. Okay, so with the parking brake on, the handbrake on, and the wheels, you know, locked, we're gonna find the jacking point and start jacking up the car. Make sure we're jacking it in the right spot, because I don't want the car to fall on my arm again. There it is. Now the car comes up. So once you've jacked the car up and you're ready to take out the tire, you know, you have enough clearance from the ground, you can use, you know, either the cross to, you know, to remove the tire, or whatever tool you have. But in my case, I'm gonna make it a lot faster, so I'm just gonna use my impact gun. So I have to find the right socket for my wheels. That's it right there. And then let me give it, to remove, let me give it max power. Right, there we go. We just removed the wheels. Boom. Four. That's 5. Okay, so next up, just lift up your wheel. There she is. And now I always like to check my wheels, you know, make sure the thread is good, everything is good, everything seems fine with it, no nails, no holes, nothing, you know. Just check your tires. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do with this one is something I failed to do last time, which is why my car fell on my arm. We're gonna actually grab this wheel. Right, it's disgustingly dirty, so excuse me. I'm gonna grab this wheel and we're gonna put it right under the car, right about there, because if the car drops, it drops on the wheel and it might break the wheel, but it's not gonna slice your arm open like it did with me. So that's that. And I'm gonna grab a bucket. The reason I'm grabbing a bucket is I need something to put my caliper on. So okay, so then to take out the caliper, you don't want to take out these bolts. These just take out the back part of the caliper. That's just for you when you have to replace your brake pads. So you're gonna want to come all the way right here and take out these bolts. It has one on top, one on the bottom, and those are your caliper assembly bolts. That's when the whole thing comes off. Ooh, my bucket. Okay, so the impact gun is a little too big, so I had to bring out my big ratchet, the big boy ratchet, and just we're gonna do it with the ratchet instead. So once you find the socket you need, make sure it's seated all the way. You're just gonna give it Okay, so after trying to finally take the rotor off, because this rotor was pretty stuck under, let me show you guys a trick that you can do. As you can see right here on the rotor surface, it's kind of messed up because I started banging it with the ratchet. But if you can't get it off that way, then make sure you find a bolt that fits into these little holes right here on the rotor. That's what they're for, right? Find a bolt that fits into it, and then you're just gonna tighten it until the rotor comes off. And then after that, you should have the rotor, the old rotor, it should come off just like that. Look how banging messed up this rotor is from me just banging it and banging it with a hammer, whatever I could find. To me, it didn't matter messing up the rotors because I'm gonna replace them anyways. But if you are gonna reuse the rotors and you're doing something else in your car, then yeah, go with this trick. Just put on a little bolt and just tighten it up until the rotor just pops off. Be careful because it just completely pops off, but yeah. So next up, needless to say, once you take out the old rotor, grab your new rotor and just pop it back in. Make sure it goes all the way back. All right, now that one's gonna be a little bit of pain to get on there because now you gotta put on the brake caliper. In that case, what I like to do is I like to grab a lug nut and then just screw it in just to hold the rotor in place so it doesn't keep falling off every time I try to work on it. And then now it's time to put on the brake caliper. Okay, so the trick worked because it held the rotor in place enough for me to be able to put the caliper bolt, which is right here, this one right here, and then one all the way down there. I don't know if you guys can see it. Caliper bolt is in, so now we just got to tighten them up. Put the tripod down, and then get the extension, grab the socket, and we just tighten them up. Make sure you're rotating the correct way. Okay, so this is the coolest part. This is why having an impact gun comes such a long way, because once you tighten down your bolts, you secure your caliper to the caliper mounts, and you put your wheel back on. It's just as easy as just tighten them up enough so the wheel can get in place. Pop the wheel into place, like so. And then you go crisscross. So I'm gonna start from this one right here, right? And I'm just gonna crisscross. Down here. Now it's done, so I just give them a check, quick check. Done. Done. Done, done, done. And just like that, we have one brake rotor installed, one brand new brake rotor installed. I do have to replace my lower ball joints on this car because this I'm gonna teach you guys something else. This is how to check for your ball joints. So if you grab your tires on the side and you slowly move them, I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but it is slightly moving to the side. You shouldn't have any play on it. So if you grab it from the top, no play on it. So, but if you see it from the sides, it slightly moves left and right. You can't have that. So that means you have a bad ball joint. Another, one of the main things that, one of the main signs that a bad ball joint does is when you driving along and you go over like the smallest bump, it starts like making a clinking sound, like clink, clink, clink. That is a sign that you probably have a bad lower ball joint. So okay, so same thing on this side. Please ignore the fact that I have a missing lug nut right here. I'll take care of that. I already have the wheel stud. I'm not gonna do it today because I am in a bit of a rush and I have to get this done. So, but same thing on this side. Grab whatever tool you're using to take out the wheel. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have a missing lug nut or one of your wheel studs broke off, as long as you have 3, it is safe to ride with 3, but I do recommend to get them replaced ASAP. so same thing here. We stand in place, we check the tire, make sure there's nothing that is just a rock. Make sure that our tire is fine. Okay, so same thing as before. You're gonna grab your socket, your ratchet, and then just loosen up those caliper bolts. Both of them. Remember, there's one on the bottom, one up top. Right here. They're gonna be a little hard at first. Just kind of smack it with your fist. There we go. They'll come loose. They're hard, but not impossible. Okay, so once you got your caliper off, same thing as before. Find your bolt. If you don't want to smack it to death, find your little bolt, put it in the hole, like so. There it is. So the extension, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten that up. You guys are gonna see the rotor just pop off. There you go. It's getting a little tough. Should pop off. Just pop off any moment now. Once it starts getting a little tough, it means it's gonna pop off any moment. There it is. Slide it right off. Take your bolt out. Okay, so once you take your old rotor out, you're gonna grab your new rotor. I should probably fix this, but I'll take care of that some other day. Grab my new rotor, put it in there, grab a lug nut. Make sure you secure it. By hand, you don't use no tools or nothing. By hand will suffice. Just make sure it goes all the way down. There you go. That'll hold it in place smoothly enough. If you want, you might even do one up top. Since this one only has 4 studs, it's gonna be a little more difficult to hold it because it keeps falling out of this one. So that's fine. That's it. Okay, so from here on out is the same procedure as before. Once you mount your wheels and you put the lug nuts in, you're just gonna torque them down enough until you actually start torquing them, you know. Okay, then from there you're gonna want to go crisscross. So in this case, I'm gonna go like this because I only have 4 lug nuts. You see, as you can see, they're still loose in there. So we're just gonna grab up here first. That one's done. So now getting in the car and actually driving it, we're about to start testing how the new brake rotors feel. Also, my apologies guys, I don't know how much of it I'm going to be able to salvage, but while recording the actual labor for, you know, the installation for the brake rotors, it was inside my garage. It was 103 degrees. So, because believe it or not, here in Texas, we're still in the mid to high 90s. So inside my garage, the temperature was 103 degrees. So my camera kept kind of turning on and off. So I don't know how much footage there is. I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to salvage. I looked at some, but not all of it. So I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to salvage, but that's, you know, if anything, I'll just re-record it if it takes it. So anyways, I just slowed down and it felt great. For my first time slowing down, it felt great. This car, when I was slow down with the old brake rotors, the steering wheel will start vibrating, which is a sign that you may have bad brake rotors. That's one of the main signs that you need to replace your brake rotors. And you know, that was number one. And number two is every time I was slowing down, there was like this hissing sound, like this shh, 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 shh. It was kind of annoying, honestly. It was genuinely a little bit annoying, and it didn't feel great. It did not feel safe at all, because the pedal was kind of getting stuck. Because what would happen is the rotor was warped, so it would make contact in some areas and wouldn't make enough contact in other areas, and that would cause that shh, shh, shh sound that I kept hearing. So I'm just glad all of that's over, and you know, just get on with the test drive, see how the brakes feel. I always like to pump my brakes a little bit. This is not necessary because I didn't change the brake pads. I didn't have to push the cylinders back. But every time I work on the brakes in any type of way, even if it is brake rotors, I still like to pump my brakes a little bit. It's good practice. It's always good to practice, to have good practice. Okay, so the light just turned red and we're gonna do an emergency stop from 40 miles an hour. Yeah, they feel good. They honestly, they feel great. We're gonna come back up here and do another emergency stop real quickly from 50 miles an hour. Get on with it. And yeah, felt great. Honestly, it feels great. So yeah, that's been all for this video. I want to apologize. I know this video is gonna be all over the place and kind of crazy. I haven't uploaded a video in over 50 days, so I'm a little rusty when it comes to the whole, you know, content creation, but we'll get back to it. But once again, I really want to take a moment and tell all of you guys who reached out and are still supporting the channel, just give you guys a huge thanks. You guys are awesome, man. Thank you guys so much. And with all that said, thank you guys so much for checking out the video, checking out the channel. If you guys did enjoy, let me know in the comment section down below how you guys tackle your specific, you know, mechanic duties, you know, in parentheses, when it comes to your car. Any tips or tricks that you may have for somebody else, leave it in the comment section down below. You know, you might save somebody's arm. So with all that said, thank you guys so much for checking out the video, checking out the channel. You just watched a J-Less YouTube video. My name is Jonathan, and you have a great day.